Today, we'll be talking about Nvidia because Nvidia is a really interesting example of a company that came out of relative obscurity to become the most valuable company in the world. Right now, everyone in the business, the markets, they perceive Nvidia as a proxy for everything AI. And as a result, the company's market cap grew by 14 times since late 2022, the ChatGPT moment, to almost $4.5 trillion right now. There are very, very good reasons for this that we will start explaining and entangling with this video right now. There are also a lot of expectations. So much of this market cap is yet to materialize. It's not even promises, but just visions for the future. Is it possible that this won't happen at all? Yes, it's possible. At the same time, the risk analysis clearly shows that it's better to be overweight on AI right now and not to underinvest. So, this is one of the many underlying stories behind Nvidia's rise. My purpose here is not to state how great Nvidia is, because Nvidia is a great company and has a really great history behind it. And they are building incredibly complex things on the technical and integration level. What I'll be explaining here are the more fundamental, the structural processes that are leading toward this transition that made Nvidia a 4.5 trillion company that are right now in their beginning and will evolve in the upcoming decades. So what is Nvidia? Nvidia is synonymous with the graphic processing units that they produce. But Nvidia is much more than that. Nvidia is a accelerated high-performance computing platform. It's a platform because it's not only about the hardware. It's about GPUs, CPUs, networking, cooling on this side, but it's also about software, libraries, frameworks, servers, many other things, the services going to production. All this creates one very, very ubiquitous platform, powered, by the way, by the Compute Unified Device Architecture, or CUDA, in short, which is something extremely interesting that we'll be talking about in further videos. In addition to that, Nvidia's platform is applicable everywhere. Sovereign supercomputers, private cloud, public cloud, consumer devices, edge, everywhere. That's why it's a platform powered by CUDA, once again. And little by little, but rather rapidly, Nvidia is becoming the standard computing platform that will dominate computing in the next couple of decades, at least, if not longer. Right now, parallel computing, GPUs, are the dominant method for high-performance computing. But this is also evolving, and over time it may also change, of course, with quantum. Why Nvidia right now? The transformers that appeared originally in 2017 were designed for parallel computing. Otherwise, you can't complete anything in feasible time. But let's not forget, machine learning started to take off at least several years before 2017. And as an example, AlexNet, the influential vision recognition architecture developed by Geoff Hinton and Ilya Sutskever and Alex himself, came out in 2012. AlexNet was, by the way, programmed in CUDA for Nvidia GPUs. So Nvidia was there to provide, to support machine learning, AI, long before transformers. For this, you need abundant but also relatively cheap compute. And I have to underscore here, relatively cheap doesn't mean cheap whatsoever, but at least cheaper, orders of magnitude cheaper compared to before. Nvidia put a lot of effort, a huge effort, to create this scalability in price performance ratio of compute, which is critical right now. So, going back to transformers, the architecture, and just as importantly, successful products built on the transformer architecture, aka ChatGPT, they proved that generative AI may really work as a translator between modalities. This may seem limited right now, but some of it is already working. So the box is already open and it cannot be closed again. What does that mean for Nvidia? There are several structural changes there that work in their favor. Now, when the Pandora's box is open, software is changing. Until now, you had deterministic software that's changing into something generated. And at the same time, the capacity at cloud providers until now was essentially non-existent. And despite the build-up in the past, let's say, year or so now, the capacity is still very low. It's not only AI on its own. So AI itself, AI workloads, they are creating a lot of additional work around them. Data processing. Data processing on parallel systems is much more efficient than anything else. So this is only one though. Then you have the race. You have the race for the best model. First, it's of course model training. Then comes post-training, and then comes test time compute. All this works for the scaling machine, for the compute scaling machine that Nvidia has built. This is potentially just the beginning, and big fuel that brings Nvidia into this position to be the dominant computing platform for the next decades. CPUs are not going, of course, to disappear. Right now, it's about CPU working with GPU, with the accelerator, actually a number of them, interconnected through hyperspeed networking and sharing memory. Not everything is a rose garden at Nvidia, and this is only the first video that's attempting to explain the fundamental shifts that made Nvidia the most valuable company in the world right now. Stay tuned for more.